Good morning, all. I, Dr. Ganesh. Welcome to this session on hypothesis in research, an important concept in both academic and applied marketing analytics. Let's begin with the basic meaning of the hypothesis. A hypothesis is a logical assumption or a proposed explanation made based on the limited evidences. In act as a prediction that researchers set out this test through their study. In research terminology, a hypothesis is often described as a statement about the expected relationship between two or more variables. For example, in a marketing contest, we might assume that the increased social media advertising leads to higher product sales. That statement is a hypothesis. Importantly, it is not just a wild guess. It is based on observation, prior knowledge, or theory. It's a set a direction for research and gives it clear focus. Now, what is the need of the hypothesis in research? Now, let's talk about why hypothesis needed in the research. First, hypothesis helps in giving a clarity and focus to the study. It defines what exactly the researcher intend to examine and what kind of relationships or differences they are testing. Second, it helps in choosing the right research design and tools, whether the study is descriptive, causal, or exploratory, depend on the nature of the hypothesis. Third, the hypothesis allows the researcher to formulate specific questions and predictions that can be tested using data. It serves as a framework to analyze the result objectively rather than relying on assumptions or gut feelings. Finally, it applies field like marketing. A well formulated hypothesis helps companies make evidence based decisions. For instance, whether the change in the pricing will impact the consumer demand or if a new brand strategy will improve brand recall. In summary, the hypothesis is the foundation of scientific investigation in marketing and many other fields. Now, what is the meaning of hypothesis, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis? In most of the statistical studies, we work on two main types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Denoted as a null hypothesis denoted as H naught and alternative hypothesis denoted as a H1. Let's understand both. Null hypothesis. They state that there is a no effect, no relationship, no difference between the variable. It represents the status quo or existing conditions. For example, there is no difference in a customer satisfaction before and after the service improvement. So this is the null hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis, this is a statement that we are actually testing. It suggests that there is a difference or effect. Using the same example, there is a significant difference in customer satisfaction after a service improvement. The purpose of the hypothesis testing is to use sample data to decide whether to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative. We never prove hypothesis. We only gather enough evidences to support or reject it statistically. This is why statistical significance plays such an important role in the research analysis. Now, in the marketing context, let's take a real world examples from the marketing to make this concept more practical. Imagine a marketing manager wants to assess the effectiveness of new online ad campaign. They suspect that the new campaign might result in a higher conversion. In this case, the null hypothesis means H naught could be there is no significant difference in the website conversion before and after campaign. An alternative hypothesis is there is a significant increase in the website conversion after the sales campaign. Now we can understand, like we can decide which test is applicable for this hypothesis testing. So test this, the company collect the data on website conversion before and after the campaign And then using a statistical test, let's say a paired sample t-test, they compared the two data sets. If the result is statistically significant, usually if the p-value is less than 0.05, the null hypothesis is rejected and the company may conclude that the ad campaign had a positive impact. Definitely in the coming session, we are going to learn more about this hypothesis testing in detail. This example highlights how hypotheses guide marketing decisions using real data, whether it's testing customer preferences, evaluating the promotions, or understanding brand perception. The hypothesis testing is a valuable part of the decision making toolkit. So, thank you all for attending this session. Definitely in the future, we are going to study more about this hypothesis testing. Thank you all.